Yeah, why is that so loud? My washer is so loud. Hold up. So loud. My gosh. Okay, well, welcome to the 60-minute focus. This is a nice little study. Oh my god, I'm ruining everything. I almost knocked over my camera. Oh my god. Look at me. I'm such a mess. I'm such a mess. When am I never not a mess? Cool. I'm not centered now because I fucked up my camera. Now I'm a little bit more centered. Okay. Um, all right. So this is just a 60-minute study sesh. I haven't been on live. I haven't been on a podcast. I've been stressed about moving because I'm supposed to be moving, but there's no word on it yet. A lot of different things going on in my life. And now I have criminal justice to put on top of everything. So I do have to study tonight. So I just thought it would be cool to do a nice little study session. You guys can kind of see my thought processes, how I work things out, things of that nature. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. Okay. So that's closed. So I'm in my first week of the new semester, and we're just studying. So let's get into it. Alright, so. Why is this open? Close. You need to be here. Cool. And, oh, there we go. Cool. Oh, of course, that doesn't want to stay open. So I guess I had to put it in here. Can you go over here? Maybe you can go over here. And then you can go over here. Things that you need to get. Okay, there we go. Cool. Alright, so let's get into this. You are a professor in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Crime in Milwaukee has been spiking, especially with respect to violent crime, homicides, non-fatal shootings, armed robberies. The chief of police has been vocal regarding the criticism of your office, arguing that prosecutors have not been charging violent criminals as often as they should. They say this is contributing to the increase in violent crime within the city. As a prosecutor, you have full discretion and authority regarding charging decisions. Over the weekend, police officers arrested Sam. Sam is a person with an extensive criminal record with whom you are well acquainted. The officers arrested Sam for aggravated assault, violent crime. Play the video below to learn more about the prosecutorial discretion and ethics. Wait.
A prosecutor represents the government, state or federal, in criminal cases. A district attorney is one name for a local prosecutor.
Okay, wait. I want that. There we go.
It's a prosecutor's job to seek justice, protect the innocent, and prove criminals guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Prosecutors have tremendous discretion, and as a result,
I'm gonna start that. I was not listening for the first 10 seconds because I was trying to figure out how to get this going. 1 second. Okay. I need 15 different screens. Like I really do. Because I need my notes up as well. How am I gonna do this? Cool. You know what? We're good. You have a good mind. You can listen in here. You don't need notes. Watch me need notes.
a prosecutor represents the government, state or federal, in criminal cases. A district attorney is one name for a local prosecutor working on behalf of the state. It's a prosecutor's job to seek justice, protect the innocent, and prove criminals guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Prosecutors have tremendous discretion and, as a result, are the most powerful officials within the criminal justice system. Prosecutors are officers of the court, which means that they have ethical obligations. Some of these ethical obligations include being honest, not hiding the whereabouts of evidence and witnesses, only charging suspects when it's appropriate, providing exculpatory evidence to the defense, evidence that indicates the suspect may be innocent, and protecting the rights of the accused, among others. A prosecutor's decision to charge a suspect with a crime or crimes is probably the most important and life-changing decision among all discretionary decisions made in the criminal justice system. When a prosecutor charges a criminal suspect, it is a formal accusation that the suspect engaged in criminal behavior, and it starts the formal court process. These formal accusations become part of a person's permanent criminal record, regardless of whether the person is ever convicted. To charge a criminal suspect, prosecutors must be able to demonstrate probable cause that a crime was committed and that the suspect committed that crime. Probable cause is a high standard. When a prosecutor charges a suspect, they are saying that it's more likely than not that a crime was committed and that the suspect committed that crime.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Quite a bit of evidence to demonstrate probable cause. Contrast that with police officers who can stop and question people and make arrests based on their suspicion that someone may have committed a crime or is about to commit a crime. Being suspicious is a lower standard than probable cause. Police officers and prosecutors have different standards, even though prosecutors rely on police officers to collect most of the evidence that prosecutors use in their cases. Prosecutors differ from police officers in another respect. If prosecutors have evidence that a criminal suspect may be innocent of the crime for which they have been charged, the prosecutors must act in accord with their professional and ethical obligations. Remember, prosecutors seek justice on behalf of the government. They work to hold offenders responsible for their criminal offending, but must always keep in mind the evidentiary standards that govern their decision-making. For example, prosecutors are required to provide exculpatory evidence to the defense. Exculpatory evidence is evidence of criminal suspects' innocence, evidence indicating that the criminal suspects may not have committed the crime. Prosecutors should not charge, or they should dismiss charges if suspects have already been charged, if prosecutors do not have enough evidence for probable cause. Furthermore, prosecutors are not supposed to try to convict suspects if they cannot prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the legal standard used when finding criminal suspects guilty. This is true for criminal suspects who choose to plead guilty in place of going to trial, and those who decide to go to trial. These are professional and ethical standards for all criminal prosecutors.
Cool. Let's get into these questions. All right. Discretion and Ethics in Criminal Justice, Part 1. After viewing the video on prosecutorial discretion and ethics, you need to examine the police reports and other initial evidence to determine how to proceed. Answer the following questions. When can police make an arrest? Only when there is no evidence of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Only when there is probable cause. When a suspect refuses to committing the crime, or when they are suspicious that someone has committed a crime. This is about police officers. When can the police? D. When they are suspicious that someone has committed a crime. Cool. What should a prosecutor do if they examine the police report and initial evidence and they think the evidence against the suspect is weak? The prosecutor should file a complaint against the arresting officer? No. The prosecutor should not charge the suspect. That's a good one. The prosecutor should charge the suspect and let a jury decide? No. The prosecutor should charge the suspect and see if the police collect additional? No. Prosecutor should not charge the suspect. In that case, if the police report and the initial evidence, they think that the evidence is weak against the suspect. If a prosecutor knows that Sam is a violent criminal, but the only evidence against Sam is the complaint's accusations, should the prosecutor charge Sam? No. Just because the prosecutor knows that Sam is a violent criminal, that doesn't mean that he actually committed the crime that is being accused, that he's being accused of. So if when I think about law, and what I've learned so far is that you kind of have to, it's not about the broad spectrum. And in this case, in Sam's case, you can't convict him or charge him, I should say, off of prior instances just because you know he's a bad person. You have to look at the evidence, the facts of the accusations and allegations that are in front of you. And if the allegations are strong enough to charge him, then you charge him. But if it's not strong enough to charge him, then you just gotta let him go, even though he's a bad dude, you know? Because the evidence just is not enough. So let's look at this. If a prosecutor knows that Sam is a violent criminal, but the only evidence against Sam is the complaint's accusations. No, there is not enough evidence to charge Sam. You have completed the exercise, and I got every question right. Look at that. Alright. Based on the conversations with the detective and the chief of police, what is the ethical way to proceed in the aggravated assault case against Sam? The ethical thing to do is to charge Sam because you have enough evidence to show probable cause, the complaint's accusation, and the pictures of injuries. No. The ethical thing to do is to charge Sam so that you can collect evidence against his friend who has shot 2 people. No, that's not ethical. It's to not charge Sam with aggravated assault because you cannot prove probable cause that Sam committed the aggravated assault. That's true. I got that one right too. Yay. Did the prosecutor prove that Shara White was guilty of murdering her ex-husband, former NFL player Lorenzo Wright? Is this a new one? Oh, this is a lot of reading. Okay, here we go. Prosecutors also sometimes strategize and make decisions regarding what charges to file, knowing that six times out of 7 criminal suspects are going to negotiate guilty pleas, known as plea bargaining. Charging decisions impact the plea bargaining process in that criminal suspects are more likely to negotiate and plead guilty when they are facing multiple charges or serious charges for which they could receive long prison terms. The strategy put prosecutors in an ethical gray zone. When prosecutors agree to plea bargain and accept a guilty plea, they do not have to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the legal standard for conviction, like they would if prosecutors were trying to convict the criminal suspect at trial. Read the article below to become more familiar with plea bargaining. My dog wants in. 1 second. My dog wants in. Come on in. Come on. Come on. Get in. Relax and study. Okay. Alright, let's see. In a sudden unscheduled court hearing Thursday, Shara White, the ex-wife of NBA star and Memphian. I didn't even know that was a thing. Memphian, like Memphis. They call them Memphians. Didn't know that. Lorenzo White pleaded guilty to her role in his 2010 killing and an earlier attempt on his life. She could have faced life in prison if convicted at trial in September, but with credit for more than 500 days already served in jail, the judge said Shara White now might become eligible for release in roughly 7 more years. The judge also said in an interview that if she exhibits good behavior in prison, release might come even sooner than that. And in an emotional scene, the mother of Lorenzo White thanked Shara White in court for giving her grandchildren and begged for Shara White's help in repairing her relationship with them. Later, the basketball player's mother said she would go to future parole hearings in an effort to keep Shara White locked up as long as possible. Irrelevant, blah blah. Shara White avoided a first-degree murder conviction, instead pleading guilty to felicitation to commit first-degree murder and felicitation to commit attempted first-degree murder. Criminal Court Judge Lee Coffey said the plea hearing wasn't on his docket for Thursday and came out of left field. Oh my god, I'm gonna knock over my camera. I'm like ridiculous. He quickly rearranged the court schedule to accommodate Shara White's unexpected guilty plea negotiated between her defense lawyers and prosecutors was one of the most surprising moments in one of the city's highest profile homicide cases in recent history. Lorenzo White was a star player for the University of blah blah blah, whatever, don't care. After his disappearance in 2010 and the subsequent discovery of his body, thousands of people gathered in that don't care, irrelevant information. It means that Shara White has been convicted for her role in the slaying. It's unclear if Shara White will now testify against Billy Turner, one of the men she accused of conspiring with to kill Lorenzo White. Turner's trial is scheduled for September. Both Shara White and Billy Turner are 48. Prosecutors, blah blah blah, irrelevant. Okay. One of Shara White's attorneys explained his thinking. My goal, and I think I speak for fellow defense lawyer Lori Hall, when I say this, as a lawyer in the first-degree murder case, it is to make sure that my client avoids a life sentence, he told reporters. And in this case, Shara is going to serve 9 years, maybe 8 or 7, before she's eligible for release. In a maximum situation, she'll serve, I think, 15 additional years. In the follow-up interview, he said that the defense would have blah, 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 blah. Irrelevant. She would be a victim of domestic violence, and there would have been witnesses that would have supported her, but in the end, we thought that would be problematic, and I could see how a jury would have convicted her of first-degree murder. Reporters and observers, Shara White was brought into the courtroom dressed cool. I don't know. If 30% of the 30-year sentence or 9 years, and she would then kind of follow him through Shara was arrested in California December 15, 2010 and was extradited to Memphis about January 20, 2018. Counting the Memphis jail time alone, she has already accumulated 552 days credited. Cool, that will reduce her potential prison time, blah, blah, blah. Other factors could reduce her prison time, irrelevant. One of Shara White's defense attorneys, Lori Hall, thinks she is unlikely to be granted parole at her first hearing, which she says would come in a little over 7.5 years. From a practical perspective, she's looking at call. Did the prosecutor prove that Shara White was guilty of murdering her ex-husband from... No. No, the prosecutor did not prove it because they had a plea deal and they bargained a plea deal. So the prosecutor never proved that Shara White was guilty, even though they knew if they went to trial, she would probably be convicted. Yes, the prosecutor proved no. The prosecutor initially charged Shara White with first-degree murder, the premeditated and intentional killing of another person. Was it unethical for the prosecutor to charge Ms. Wright with first-degree murder and then allow her to plead guilty to felicitation of murder, knowing furnishing substantial assistance in the commission of murder, a lesser charge? Discretion. The prosecutor has discretion in this instance. he could go to trial and risk a loss in court with their defense in she was being beaten and abused in her home by her husband, and have a possibility, even though it was a small, probable possibility of losing. They could have went to trial and taken the loss, or he could have accepted the plea deal, bargained, accepted the plea deal, and closed the case and adjudicated it. So do I think it was unethical? From a moral standpoint, yes, because you know someone's murder, you would do anything to convict that person. From a legal standpoint, no, it's not unethical, only because it's the nature of discretion when it comes to prosecutors. So let's see what these answers give. Probably not. While the prosecutor may not have been able to prove first-degree murder at trial, which may have contributed to his right to plead guilty, the prosecutor was able to demonstrate probable cause that Miss Wright committed first-degree murder. Otherwise, the judge would... Cases are own. I'm gonna go with probably. It was maybe a little bit unethical. Oh, I was right with my first answer. Probably not. It's probably not unethical. I was right with my first. Go with your gut. Go with your gut. Go with your gut, because you're smart, Ariana. Oh my gosh. There we go. Cool. I got hundreds on all of this. Perfect. I thought there was like 12 activities here. So many activities to do. Sorry, 1 second. Wait, let me make sure like I'm not echoing. This is weird. Why is it echoing? Is this like coming through somewhere? I'm confused. Am I echoing? Wait, I'm gonna check if I'm echoing, because I don't think I'm echoing. 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Why are we echoing? Wait, let me make sure like I'm not echoing. This is weird. Why is it echoing? Is this like coming through somewhere? I'm confused. Am I echoing? Am I echoing? I'm literally echoing. And I don't know how to fix that. It's echoing. There's no way you can be echoing though, because nothing's coming through. That's so weird. Did that do it? I think I fixed it. I love how it's echoing for like 20 minutes. 1 second. I fixed it. I did the stupid thing, and I had something on, and okay, I fixed it. Cool. Back to studying. All right, let's see. That's Unit 2. Did I get everything done? I think I got everything done, right? It said there was like 8 different Mind Tap activities, so I'm confused. Who texted me? Okay. I'll handle that later. Wait, what is going on? I'm so confused. It's saying here all the activities, but it's not like popping up. What the Okay, here are the activities. There we go. Open link in new tab. Let's close all these other activities out. Cool. Cool. Okay, see? That one loaded up perfectly. I'm Confucius. Just a little bit Confucius. You're active. Oh, there we go. Cool. Please tune in to Chapter 2, Episode 3, Facts and Fun Facts. Blah, blah, blah. The links between drugs and crime, criminology, and the theory to practice. This episode discusses the relationship between drug use and crime. The use of criminology in practice will also be covered in this episode. After learning this information, you'll be... Okay. Alright, I have to actually go through this. Maybe we can speed it up a little bit.
You're listening to another episode of Fast Facts.
Welcome to episode 3 of chapter 2, Fast Facts. In this episode, we'll be discussing the link between drugs and crime, as well as how theory can be used in practice. In the previous 2 episodes, you learned about several theories of criminal behavior. A lot of these have been used to try and explain drug use. For example, the social disorganization theory discusses rapid social change, particularly in disorganized zones. When there is a breakdown of social institutions like family, education, or even healthcare, people may decide to drop out of the mainstream and turn to drugs. Learning theory would examine drug use by how we learn to take drugs. First, you learn the techniques of drug use. Then, you learn to perceive the pleasure you can get from drugs. And finally, you learn to enjoy the social experience of drug use. As scientists, we've begun to understand there is a difference between drug use and drug abuse. Drug abuse is the use of drugs that results in physical or psychological problems for the user, as well as disruption of personal relationships and employment. The most extreme abusers are addicted to a drug. They are considered a compulsive user, and their need for the drug can lead to many harmful and criminal actions. When a person develops a dependency on a drug, they will suffer from withdrawal symptoms when they stop using the drug. Those people who are addicted or dependent upon drugs will often do anything to get more. People have committed burglaries, robberies, thefts, and murders in the pursuit of the next high. The drug-crime relationship has been divided into 3 categories: drug-defined offenses, drug-related offenses, and the drug-using lifestyle. Drug-defined offenses are violations of laws prohibiting the possession, use, description, and manufacture of illegal drugs. Drug-related offenses are crimes which are motivated by drug abuse or committed to further the drug trade. The drug-using lifestyle is related to drug users who drop out of the legitimate economy and will commit usually minor crimes to accomplish short-term goals related to obtaining more drugs. At least 2/3 of people arrested in the U.S. have illegal drugs in their systems when apprehended. The the United States is experiencing an opioid crisis, and in 2015, approximately 15,000 people died from overdoses of prescription drugs. Prescription drugs are medical drugs that require a physician's permission for purchase. Let's consider a drug user named Mary who is addicted to painkillers. Mary is 21 years old and has been using drugs since she was 14. Mary began smoking marijuana with her friends in high school. This was only occasional use and did not interfere much with her life. Mary's father had surgery when she was 17. Her father only took a couple of the prescription painkillers given to him by his doctor and left a large supply in the bathroom. Mary found the pills and took several. She enjoyed the feeling she got from the pills and began to search for more painkillers when at her friends' or family members' homes. Mary became addicted to the painkillers and started to break into homes of elderly people, hoping they would have similar prescription medications. One night, when she really felt she needed some, Mary broke into a pharmacy and was apprehended by the police. Mary was charged with breaking and entering and theft. Depending upon the jurisdiction that Mary is processed in, there may be several options for her. Some courts support the medical model of addiction and view addicts as ill individuals rather than criminals. If Mary is treated with this model, it's likely she'll be sent to a treatment facility and provided with aftercare to address her addiction. In other jurisdictions, a more traditional criminal view will be supported. The criminal model of addiction is an approach to drug abuse that holds that drug offenders harm society by their actions to the same extent as other criminals and should face the same punitive sanctions. In a jurisdiction that follows this model, Mary could receive a prison sentence for her crimes. It's interesting to note that laws related to drugs have changed over time. Prohibition, which was established in 1920 and banned the sale and use of alcohol, was repealed in 1933. This changed due to the demand for alcohol by the public. More recently, marijuana has been legalized in many places in the United States. Legalization makes a formerly illegal product or action lawful. In the context of marijuana, the process includes strict regulation, including a ban on sale to or use by minors. According to Gallup, 60% of Americans participating in gang activity, they will be punished severely. But they are also told that if they change their ways, they'll be given access to educational opportunities, drug and alcohol treatment, and housing. Focused deterrence is seen as an evidence-based practice because there's evidence that this practice reduces crime. Focused deterrence is credited with a drastic drop in the number of youth homicides in Boston. Based on classic research by Marvin Wolfgang and colleagues titled Delinquency in a Birth Cohort, one thing that is known is that a very small number of people commit most of the crime in the United States. This introduces us to the idea of the chronic offender. A chronic offender, or career criminal, is a person who commits multiple offenses and is considered part of a small group of wrongdoers who are responsible for most of the antisocial activity in any given community. Studies have supported the idea of a chronic 6%, and criminal justice practitioners have looked for ways to reach this specific group to cut crime rates. One method is that of risk assessment. Different methods of risk assessment are used to determine the likelihood that an offender will be involved in future wrongdoing, or recidivism. Recidivism is a term used to describe what occurs when an offender, after serving a sentence for a crime, commits another offense. Risk assessment tools are generally extensive surveys to understand all different facets of an offender's life, including criminal history, employment status, social life, education, drug use, religion, and family life. These tools, which have been tested numerous times, are also quite controversial, as many believe them to be inherently biased against the poor. As we close out this episode, let's think about this idea of predicting criminality for a second. If we had the power to predict all criminal behavior before it happened, what would you do with that information? Would you help get at the root causes of crime?
Cool. Okay, cool. Cool. Jamie is arrested for possession of heroin. After being convicted, the court sentences Jamie to 9 months in a rehabilitation clinic, followed by a 3-year probation sentence that requires Jamie to attend Narcotics Anonymous meetings. What model of addiction is this court using to determine the medical model? I was right. Look at that. Medical model is like rehabilitation. And when I was listening to the assignment, the video for the assignment, like what I do when I'm studying is I like to make things simple. Like long definitions are so annoying and I can't stand them. It's like, why not just like equate things? This equals this. So I heard the medical model. I heard that it's more so about rehabilitating someone. They didn't even say that word, but in so many words that they put it, the one word that comes to mind would be rehabilitation. And you go, well, the medical model equals rehabilitation. Boom. And I got it right. Look at that. All right. Let's see. What's this next one? What is the term used to describe approaches or strategies that have been extensively researched or shown consistently to produce desired outcomes. That would be whatchamacallit, evidence-based practices, right? Pretty sure. Yep, I'm correct. And let's see. What type of juvenile offender has been found to be responsible for a disproportionate amount of violent crimes? This would be a chronic offender. And I got it right. Perfect. Cool. Alright, where are we? We're doing this one next. Open link in new tab. Click here to open. Studying is so, I hate it. But I gotta do it if I wanna be a lawyer. If a person accepted and wanted the normal goals of society but did not have the means to achieve them, what could result in this? Oh, this is a whole nother video. Oh my god. We're gonna speed this one up.
You're listening to another episode of Fast Facts.
Welcome to episode 2 of chapter 2's Fast Facts. In this episode, we will discuss the impact of bad neighborhoods and economic disadvantages. We will also discuss criminality across the life course. After learning this information, we will follow important objectives. Summarize social structure theories, focusing on the work of Robert Merton and Robert Agnew. Describe the importance of the Chicago School of Thought.
It's really hot in here.
Summarize social process theories.
I need to turn down the heat. It's so hot.
Other theories of criminality. Early in the 1900s, the University of Chicago researchers focused on how the environment impacted people. All of these researchers were classically trained in sociology. Sociology is the study of the development and functioning of groups of people who live together within a society. These sociologists, commonly referred to as the Chicago School, were particularly interested in theories of social disorganization, strain, and cultural deviance. Social disorganization indicated that deviant behavior was more likely in social institutions such as the family, school, and the criminal justice.
Wait, I missed stuff. Why didn't I pause it?
Chicago School of Thought, criminality. Summarize social process theories, focusing on other and control theories of criminality. Compare life course theories to other theories of criminality. University of Chicago researchers focused on how the environment impacted people. All of these researchers were classically trained in sociology. Sociology is the study of the development and functioning of groups of people who live together within a society. These sociologists, commonly referred to as the Chicago School, were particularly interested in theories of social disorganization, strain, and cultural deviance. Social disorganization theory indicated that deviant behavior was more likely in communities where social institutions, such as the family, school, and the criminal justice system, failed to exert control over the population. If you consider the difference in environments between two children, it is easy to see the impact of social disorganization. High levels of high school dropouts, chronic unemployment, deteriorating buildings, and concentration of single-parent homes lead to crime, according to social disorganization. Clifford Shaw and Henry McKay introduced the theory of social disorganization in 1929. They went out into the neighborhoods of Chicago to understand high crime rates in some areas compared to others. They found what Shaw and McKay called disorganized zones. They believed the problems here all began with poverty. In these disorganized zones, there were a few factors that Shaw and McKay believed led to the increase in crime. First, there were high levels of high school dropouts. Second, there were chronic problems of unemployment. Third, you could see deteriorating buildings all around. And finally, the concentration of single-parent homes. The most important aspect to remember about social disorganization, compared to the theories we previously discussed, is that Shaw and McKay point out where you live can change your disposition to criminality. Another viewpoint was not just poverty could increase criminality, but also the desire to be wealthy or achieve the American dream. This becomes an issue because not everyone has the same odds of achieving that dream, even though we are led to believe we all have the same chance. Strain theories make the assumption that crime is the result of frustration felt by individuals who cannot reach their financial and personal goals through legitimate means, or by following the rules and expectations of society. These theories grew from Emile Durkheim's idea of anomie. Anomie is a condition in which the individual feels disconnected from society due to the breakdown or absence of social norms. A great example of this is the pandemic in 2020, which you may still be feeling the remnants of. When things first began to shut down and new restrictions were placed on all of us, every day we struggled with what the expectations and rules were. I'm sure some of you felt extremely stressed out and sought out ways to cope, and some of those mechanisms may not have been law-abiding. Robert Burke took this idea of anomie and applied it to America. It is often assumed that everyone wants the American dream: a nice house, good job, a family, and enough money to take care of all our needs. According to Merton, strain occurs when a person cannot achieve those goals. The feelings of strain may cause a person to find other means of achieving their goals, which could involve crime. A person could also just retreat from society and engage in drug or alcohol use. In the early 1990s, strain took another turn. when Robert Agnew introduced his general strain theory. Agnew believed the frustration or strain Merton mentioned happens a lot more often than just at times we feel we are not meeting financial goals. He believed we also feel strain when we don't get the job we want, or our girlfriend breaks up with us, or we lose a parent through divorce or even death. These events cause us to feel strain and get sad or angry, and some of us will cope by turning to criminality. Combining the ideas of strain theory and social disorganization, we know that people adapt to the values of the subculture they belong to. This is the basis for cultural deviance theory. Cultural deviance theory is a branch of social structure theory based on the assumption that members of certain subcultures reject the values of the dominant culture by exhibiting deviant behavior.
Wait, hold up. I need to regroup here. That was a lot of information. Social disorganization is family. Strain theory is economic based. Cool.
Disorganized zones and members of low-income neighborhoods are their own subcultures, which are groups who display certain values and behavior patterns that distinguish them from the dominant culture. Other groups to consider as subcultures may be immigrants, gang members, or even your local football team. Social conflict theories entered mainstream criminology in the 1960s. These theories view criminal behavior as the result of class conflict. The belief is that people in power are in conflict with other classes of people who lack power. Often the criminal justice system is used to illustrate social conflict theories. The laws are made by people in power, and those who work in the system also have power. People who violate these laws and are often harshly punished tend to be from a lower class or lacking power. One example of this is punishment for drug crimes. When crack cocaine became common in the 1990s, punishment for being caught with or distributing.
He said that so just like nonchalant. Crack cocaine. You just said it so nonchalant. If I was in the middle of like a literal lecture, I would have died laughing.
Crack was very harsh. Many three strikes laws were used against those offenders to make sure they had extremely long prison sentences. The people who used crack cocaine tended to have lower incomes, and often were people of color. Crack was priced as low as $5 to $10 a rock, so it was easily accessible for those with little money. At the same time, powder cocaine, which was often used by more upper-class individuals, was receiving less attention and much shorter sentences. In 1994, legislation was passed to create a sentencing disparity of 100 to 1. This means if Joe was using crack cocaine and was tried and convicted, he could receive a sentence that was 100 times longer than Steve, who was tried and convicted for the same amount of powder cocaine. Robert Quinney, an influential social conflict theorist, created the theory referred to as the social reality of crime. This theory sees violations of the law not as inherently criminal acts, but rather as political ones. The theory states that criminal laws are designed by those in power to help them.
Wait. Conflict. Wait. Social conflict is profiling. Profiling.
It was quite radical and have not had a large impact on public policy. Social process theories, on the other hand, have had a considerable effect on public policy. Social process theories consider criminal behavior to be the predictable result of a person's interaction with their environment. Rather than focusing on the conditions of the environment a person lives in, these theories look at family, friends, and other factors that influence behavior. It is widely accepted that people in our lives are role models, and that we learn a lot from watching their behaviors. When children are young, their parents and family members are most likely to influence their behaviors in groups. Later, friends become a source of learned behavior. There are three major branches of social process theory: learning, control, and labeling. If you think about a criminal who specializes in armed robbery, they probably had to learn how to commit that crime. Learning theory is based on the idea that criminals must be taught both the practical and the emotional skills needed to commit a crime. To become an armed robber, a person would need to learn how to approach the victim, how to effectively control the victim through fear of the threat of force, and also how to use a weapon needed to complete the crime. The robber would also need to know how to dress, so they would not be identified, and where to sell the stolen items. In addition, the robber would also need to have learned the emotions and skills needed. The robber could not be too sympathetic to the victim, as it would be difficult to rob them. It would not be good to feel guilty after committing the crime. Therefore, the robber had to learn both the skills and the emotional aspects of being a criminal. Control theory takes a different approach to explain criminal behavior. This theory assumes that all individuals have the potential for criminal behavior, but are restrained by the damage that such actions would do to their relationships with family, friends, and the members of the community. This means their goal is to explain why people do not commit crime. There are many aspects of control theories that show how people are attached to their families and communities in such a way that they would not want to commit crime. A very interesting theory, and the third branch of social process theories, also assumes most people have committed a crime, is labeling theory.
This is a lot.
Based on the idea that society creates criminals and crimes by the labels that are placed on people or behaviors. If a child steals a candy bar from the store, many different responses could occur. If the child is told that the behavior is wrong and then taken to return the candy, that is usually the end of the event. If the police are called and the child is taken into custody, this is a much more serious response. The child would then be labeled a delinquent and could take on that belief, which would result in more delinquent or criminal behavior. Those who support labeling theory would suggest that the first time a person has contact with the criminal justice system, they should be treated as leniently as possible. This would help prevent the person from being labeled a criminal and continuing that behavior once they accept the label. All of these theories, learning, control, and labeling theories, have policies that are geared toward juveniles. They often view adult criminals as being too hardened to unlearn their criminal behaviors. While some believe we should focus on young offenders, those who subscribe to life course criminology believe that there are risk factors early in life that will become strong predictors for behaviors later in life. Some of these factors include having a difficult temperament, a low learning ability, or a disadvantaged family background. One of the most common of these life course theories is self-control theory. This theory looks at low self-control, a personality trait exhibited by impulsivity and thrill-seeking as a predictor for criminality. Michael Gottfredson and Travis Hershey, the criminologists responsible for this viewpoint, subscribe to what is called the continuity theory of crime. The continuity theory of crime states that once negative behavior patterns have been established, they cannot be changed, which is believed to be the case with low self-control. Life course theories also may emphasize the importance of turning points in our lives.
So many different theories. Okay. Let's get into this. If a person accepted and wanted the normal goals of society but did not have the means to achieve them, what could this result in? Social disorganization results in family. Social conflict. This would be strain. Perfect. Got that one right. Let's see. According to differential association theory, in addition to learning the skills to commit a crime, what must a person also have? Learning skills to commit a crime. Not. I may get this one wrong. This might be my first one I get wrong. This might be the first one I get wrong. I want attitudes and beliefs associated with the crime. Okay, I'm getting this wrong. I know it. Oh no, I got it right. Oh my god, good thing I didn't go with something else. See? Always believe your gut. There we go. I got it right. Cool. Thought I was going to get that one wrong for sure. The Chicago School of Thought was much different than earlier schools because what? Oh, I'm going to get this one wrong. Oh, I know this one. I'm getting this one wrong. The Chicago School of Thought. I know there was a difference. I want to say it's not genetic theories. It's between A and D here. I'm going to go with this D. Oh, I was wrong. I got my first one wrong. That means it's A. It was A. Should have went with my gut. See, you know what's so like crazy about going with your gut is like, you know, your gut is telling you something, but you go against it and you're like, was that my gut feeling then? Like, was that my initial gut feeling? Like, that's crazy. Okay, cool. I got one question out of like 50 wrong so far. So I am not mad. Okay, what else do I need here? Cool. More questions. Please say this is not a 15-minute video because I'm so tired. So tired already. And we're coming up on the end of this hour study sesh. Oh my god, my hair looking crazy right now. But it is what it is. I'm a crazy bitch. Cool. A 9-minute video. Wait, Before I start this video, I need to regroup here. It's hot for some reason in my apartment. For some reason, it's hot. This isn't on, is it? No, it's not even on. This is hot, though. Okay. That was like one question out of, I think it was like 35, 40 questions. Not 35. Maybe 30. Maybe 26. 1 out of 26 wrong? I guess that's good. 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, maybe less than 12. I'm exaggerating. I don't know. Oh my gosh. It is hot in here. I can't tell if it's hot because it's hot. I just turned like my AC down or my heat down. Or is it hot because like I get nervous when I'm like taking tests? Oh my gosh. So hot. I get so nervous when I take tests because I want to get everything right all the time. Okay. Cool. Let's get back into this. Pack that all in, put it into a compartment in my brain, and get on to this next section. Cool. Oh, I hit my mic and it's making that buzzing noise. I'm sorry. Cool. There we go. All right, let's get into it. Let's go.
You're listening to another episode of Fast Facts.
Welcome to episode 1 of chapter 2's Fast Facts. In this episode, we'll be discussing criminology, the importance of theory to studying criminal behavior, and the classical and positivist schools of criminology. Many students begin studying criminal justice.
Wait. I read this stuff already. Classical and positivist. Classical. Oh, God damn it. If I have a multiple choice in front of me, I will be able to tell you what the classical criminology model theory is. Should I go in and just try and get this completed without... No, I should refresh my memory. I should.
Dimension besides policing, courts, and corrections. Some of us choose to study criminology, or the study of crime and causes of criminal behavior. We are the people who want to know why people do the things they do. Many criminologists examine correlations to crime. Correlation is the relationship between two measurements or behaviors that tend to move in the same direction. Your professor probably believes there is a correlation between grades and the number of hours you study. That if you study more, the grades would be higher. That would be a correlation.
No. I literally read this whole thing. I read this chapter. I'm not listening to that for 10 minutes. No. I can answer these questions. I got this. What idea was the classical school criminology based on? The punishment should be... People have free will to commit crimes. Oh, see? I was right. I got it. See, I am smart. Which theorist proposed the idea of, to the criminological theory, atavism? Oh, I don't know this one. Can I go back to my notes for this one? No, I'm not going to go back to my notes for this one. I'm not. Who did this? I feel like that's such a specific word, and that was not in my readings. I know these two were theorists, but that was not it. It has to be between Jeremy and Robert, and I want to say it's a Robert. I was wrong. I got 2 wrong so far. That means it has to be Jeremy, right? Oh my God, it's not? Oh my God, is it Caesar? Oh my God, I got this one completely wrong. Okay, but names, come on, I always screw up names. I'm bad with names. So, okay, I got 2 questions wrong out of 30. Which of the following is a psychological theory of criminality? Psychoanalysts. I thought it was psychoanalytical, not psychoanalysts. But I got it correct, so we're good. Oh my god. On that one. Can't believe we got that one wrong. Damn it. Okay. On to the next one. Okay, so altogether I got two questions wrong? 2 questions wrong, which isn't horrible. Is this a short response one? I hope it's not short response. Okay, wait, I did this one already. Think, decide, act. Did I do all of them? Okay, so I did that one. Cool. Chapter 2 quiz. Causes of crime. Alright, let's do this. I didn't fully read this chapter though. Should I read the full chapter? No, I can do this without... Well, I read the chapter, okay? I just didn't really need to read everything. You know how they say you need to pick what you think is important and read it? That's what I did. Because if I read, like, the whole chapter, it would have taken, like, 3 days. Anyway. What is a scientific study of crime and the causes of criminal behavior? That would be called criminology. An explanation of a happening or circumstance that is based on observation, experimentation, and reasoning is called what? Wait, this is a trick one. An explanation of a happening or circumstance that is based, that's the keyword, based on observation, experimentation, and reasoning is called a theory. I got it right. See, look, they try to trick you on that one. An explanation of what is happening or circumstance. You would automatically think because it says happening and circumstance with correlation or causation. But it was theory because it's based on observation, experimentation, and reasoning. And you would think it's hypothesis because when you think of the scientific method, you think of all those observations, experimentations, and, reasonings, because that's what a hypothesis consists of when you talk about, like, the scientific theory. But it's just theory. I got it right because I'm smart. The relationship between 2 measurements of behaviors that tend to move in the same direction would be known as correlation. Because they tend to move into the same direction. Got it correct. Which of the following are steps in the process through which researchers conduct the scientific method? Wait. Which of the following are steps? Select all that apply. So you need, observation, testing, hypothesis. Just those 3. Because none of those, I remember the scientific method. Effectiveness, verification, computation, all not a part of it. And I got it right. Correct. Oh, wait, it's not entirely correct? Oh, what? Maybe I didn't read the full question correct. Which of the following are steps in the process through which researchers conduct the scientific method? Did I miss something? I know not effectiveness. Maybe verification? I missed verification. Okay. Cool. Which of the following theories is in the school of criminology is based on the belief that individuals have free will to engage in any behavior, including criminal behavior? That would be a choice theory, I'm thinking. Because classical theory was... Oh, I'm zoning out here. I'm zoning out on this one. Do I need to phone a friend? I need to phone a friend on this one. Because classical was... It is choice. I was right. See? Go with the gut. Okay? I was right. Always go with the gut, Ariana. Come on. Don't be doubting yourself. You don't doubt over here. I got that one right. Which of the following refers to the decision about whether or not a person committed a crime is based in their rational decision-making process? That the person would weigh the benefits of the crime against the cost of being apprehended. That would be classical. Got it. Which of the following are among Caesar... I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Criminal laws reflection. Select all that apply. I know this, and I'm gonna get this one right. He had 3, I'm pretty sure. No, not one. So the more swift and certain punishment is, the more effective it will be in controlling crime. All decisions, including the decision to commit a crime, are the result of rational choice. And fear of punishment. I think that's it, because it was about punishment and control, punishment and deterrence, and decisions for everyone. I don't think there's a fourth one. I got it right. Look at that. All from the brain. See, I literally just read stuff and it like goes in my brain. Which theory states that criminal behavior is determined by biological, physiological, and social forces, and that is beyond the control of the individual? It is beyond the control of the individual. Not domination, not conforming, not biophysical, so it has to be positivism. I got it right. Cool. Which of the following theories states that at any given moment, a person can choose between committing a crime and not committing it? Rational choice. Got that one right as well. Expanding on rational choice theory, what did sociologist Jack Katz call offenders who commit crimes rewards? Thrill of... Ooh. Was it thrill offenders? I think it was thrill offenders. It was thrill offenders. I know that for a fact. Got it right. Look at that. Last 2 questions. Which theory purports to state that the offspring of aggressive or antisocial parents are at a greater risk to exhibit those traits that are the offspring of parents who are not aggressive? Wait. Hold up. What? This is nature versus nurture. I know that for sure. But what did that even say? There was a lot of words jumbled together. Which theory purports to state that the offspring of aggressive or antisocial parents are at a greater risk to exhibit those traits than are the offspring of parents who are not aggressive? That's nature versus nurture. Because you have the nature of your environment versus, it's nature versus nurture. Close. I've completed it. I got every question right on that one. Cool. And I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's it. My grades. I just did that one though. So why are you telling me that it's not in there? Maybe it takes a second. There we go. So let's see how I did. I got 11 out of 11 on that one, 16 out of 16, 6 out of 6, 6 out of 6, 6 out of 6, and 4 out of 6. So how many questions is that? 16, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 45, 45, 51 questions, and I got 48. I got 48 right. Cool. Listen, I'm here for it. But I have to ask Siri. Hey, Siri. 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 Hey, Siri. I need, if I got 48 questions right out of 51, what's my grade percentage? You know what, Siri? Why can't you just tell me the answer? Listen, I'm not a mathematician here, okay? I prompt 48 divided by 50. 96. I got 96. We're good. First week back, got a 96. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Plus, I had a phenomenal discussion post, and listen, not to brag, but okay, I have a brain that has thinking capabilities, and with thinking capabilities means that you know the right answer to things. And we're discussing the George Floyd, murder from Derek Chauvin and that case. And we're talking about excessive force or reasonable force in the legal terms and what is qualified as reasonable force. And the question was, let me see here. What was the discussion question? Should police officers be permitted to use force against a suspect who is being detained for questioning about a nonviolent crime, such as passing counterfeit money, relating to the George Floyd case? And everyone is like, no. I feel like a lot of people missed the point of the question. It was not about technically force. It was more so about discretion. And people continued to write discussion posts about force and how force at any point should never be used against a nonviolent criminal. And I took it a step further and I was just like, wait, that's not true, because a violent criminal who committed a violent crime could not pose a threat to a police officer, But vice versa, a person who committed a nonviolent crime could pose a threat to a police officer. So it's not about the crime or the nature of the crime or whether the crime was violent or nonviolent. It's about how the suspect is behaving and complying with the officer. So I kind of took it a step further in that discussion post, and I was just like, well, if we're really going to talk about the legalities of this, we need to understand that there's a difference, because you can't qualify nonviolent and violent crimes in regards to force, because then police officers don't have discretion to use against a suspect, against a nonviolent criminal or a violent criminal. That's what discretion helps a police officer to. That's what discretion helps a police officer to decide in regards to those situations. But what truly helps a police officer decide the right amount and reasonable amount of force to use is whether the suspect is complying or not. So I really went in and I was just like, y'all bitches, y'all getting it wrong. Anyway, I'm done with my studying and I'm good for the night. I know this man just texted me. Yeah. And honestly, I'm too tired to do anything tonight. But yeah. Got 96, 2 questions wrong out of 51. I'm Gucci. All right, this study session is over, and I will be back with my podcast super soon. I promise. I'm just trying to see where I'm going right now. I don't know if I'm moving to Maryland. I don't know if I'm moving back to Long Island. I don't know if I'm staying upstate New York. I don't know right now. And literally my whole room was packed up a whole week ago, packed up. And all of a sudden, like, nothing fell through. There's just the waiting period. Is this happening? Is the transfer happening? And I'm just like, this is so tiring. Because the district manager from Long Island, my old one, was like, yeah, apply when the position is open. And I'm like, cool. When's the position going to be opening? And there's no time frame on that. And I'm just like, ugh, okay, whatever. So I applied to something in Maryland maybe about a month ago and got a call back. And it's right outside of DC in a nice little area. And I'm just like, okay, well, I want to work around DC because, like, that would be great for my legal career and what I want to do with my life. And being right outside of DC, it's literally 15 minutes out of DC. Quick drive right into Washington, DC, the city. And I was just like, cool. Had the interview. Everything went well. She was like, you would be an asset anywhere you go. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, I know. Thank you. And I haven't heard a call back yet. And with my company, they're very, very good at communicating. You have something or you don't, right? So it's just like the door is open. And I feel like God is testing me in certain ways of having people in my life and like being true to myself and being honest to myself and allowing me to like grow from all these experiences that I've had over the last like 4 years. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting on the move. I'm waiting on the call to say, pick up and come to Maryland, pick up and come to Long Island. I'm just waiting on the call. But anyway, I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm going to go to sleep. I have work tomorrow. And yeah, adios. Bye.